Hi guys, how's things? So I thought I would just do a little, I don't know, it might turn into a long uh, kind of what's on my desk again, because there's some stuff that I wanted to show you guys and needed to do that before I give it to the people it's going to. And also I have some stuff that I want to put away that I wanted to kind of share before I did that. So first off, I mentioned in my last video that I've been doing a lot of crocheting, and this is true. I don't know, just got into that groove and can't stop myself. But I did get some books, some crochet books that I thought you guys might enjoy seeing. These are new to me. So first off, my daughter-in-law, one of my daughters-in-law, she really, really loves houseplants, and she and I have made a plan that was kind of my idea initially to do a to volunteer at like a women's shelter, like a women's homeless shelter, to do some crochet classes. And I asked her if she would come and do that with me so that she could help me out with, you know, transporting supplies and that kind of stuff. Excuse me. And she was really excited to do it because she'd really like to learn how to crochet too. So I thought, I saw this book on Amazon. I thought this is perfect, because she just loves houseplants so much. It's kind of a thing in our family that she'll take your dying houseplants. So anyway, so this is just adorable houseplants to crochet, and you know, she doesn't know how to crochet yet, but I thought this would be something that maybe we could do together. And once she kind of gets the hang of it, I thought this would be fun, and we could make some of these things together. So anyway, yeah, so it's just and I just like the style of it too. I just think that the results are very realistic and kind of modern, you know, not, they're just not, what am I trying to say? They're not cheesy looking, you know what I mean? Anyway, so it's not a huge book, and I think there's probably about 15 or so different plants that you can make. But yeah, so I got that. So that should be fun. And then this creator, Irina Lee, has put out a couple other amigurumi books, and I've made, I would say, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 different ones. She has 2 other books that I have, and I've had for a while. And I just love her style so much, and I love her patterns. They're just, she just has such a unique, just a really unique style. And on top of that, her patterns are extremely straightforward, I guess, and very clear and easy to follow. And even though a lot of these designs look really complicated and kind of intimidating, the way that she, you know, the way that she's written her patterns is just super, it just makes sense the way she puts it all together. And she gives lots of photos of, you know, like she's thought about where there needs to be a photo of whatever it is that she's describing, and they're just extremely helpful. Like, she tells you when to start stuffing, and you know, anyway, I just love her patterns. And you know, like this piece could potentially be kind of confusing to make, but she gives you these photos at just really perfect moments, you know. Anyway, but I just love her. I just love her little characters. They're just really, really cute. And I've made I've made some of them before. Not from, this is a new, but this is her newest book. I also love this publisher, this Meteor Books. They make amazing crochet books. Really, really high quality. I like the size of the books. I like the covers. I like the formatting. They're just really well made, high quality crochet pattern books. So anyway, so I got this one, Enchanted Woodland Amigurumi. And then this one, if you're into crochet or if you're into amigurumi, you've probably seen the Zumigurumi pattern books. And most of those books, I think there's like 10 or 12 of them. Most of them have, I think, 15 patterns. And actually, Irina, I'm not sure how she says her name, but she actually has some patterns in a few of these books, I think. And it's funny because if you like her patterns, you recognize them right away. But anyway, I didn't have any of the Zumigurumi books, just because, you know, if I buy one, then I'm going to feel like I need to get all of them, and, you know, and I don't need that many. But they're really cool. They just have a really nice variety of different types of, see, this is Irina. This is one of hers, this little moose. Anyway, just really cute designs. And again, the patterns are all written out really nicely. I was really happy to see that. And I think that that's something that this publisher, I think it's a standard that they really try to push, you know. They must have a really good editing team and that kind of thing, and pattern testers and all that. So anyway, but this is a kind of like a compilation. So there's 30 patterns in this book, and it was, I think, it was probably about $5 more than the regular ones, but you get twice as many patterns. So I thought this would be a good one for me to get to just kind of try it out. So anyway, so I got that one, Zumigurumi Favorites. And then another Meteor Books, Unicorns, Dragons, and More, Fantasy Amigurumi. And this one, again, I think is that another one of hers? Yep, there's another one of Irina's. Little Aqua Girl is her, I think that's her Instagram handle. But anyway, and I think I've made this one too. I think I made this little Pegasus or something similar to it, because I remember making that flower garland. Anyway, so this one is just all like fantasy creatures. I really want to make that little dinosaur. So cute. Little baby dragon. Looks like a dinosaur. Anyway, and the little mermaid, and so anyway, and this one too. This one is really, really pretty. I really like the colors that they used on that one. The little Loch Ness monster. Patchwork Moose. I think I have some of her digital patterns. So anyway, so this one, there's a couple others in this series too. Can't remember the names of them. I know there's at least 2 others in that series. And then this one is another Meteor Books, Aquatic Amigurumi. They have a bird one that I kind of want to get, but with the problems I have with arthritis in my hands, especially in my thumb here, it's kind of difficult for me to do these skinny little tiny things. And I mean, I can do it, but you know, just about every bird that I could see on the cover of that book, it has those long skinny legs that you have to just crochet around like in a spiral, and they're just tiny, and I just know that that would be really hard on my hand. So anyway, I might get it anyway one day. But so this one I thought was really cool, and I just really love the characters. Some of these fish are just beautiful and fun and kind of quirky and kind of silly, you know. I really like these little guys. And this guy, it's a little, what do they call that, a dangler fish or something. What do they call that? Angler fish, dangler fish, angler fish. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to try this one out. Try something out of here. See how I like it. Natura Crochet. Natasha Tishenko. Oh, from Natura Crochet. She does the DMC, or I think that refers to the DMC Natura yarn. Anyway, and then I got this one that's done by Crafty Intentions, and Megan Lapp, Crafty Intentions, and she has some amazing patterns that you can get via Etsy, and I think she has some on Ravelry. But this one, I didn't even know that that's who this was when I bought the book. Like, I hadn't put it together. Like, I have some of her other patterns that I bought from Etsy, and I usually print off any patterns that I buy or get for free. But I didn't even put it together that the patterns that I had already, she has one that's like jellyfish, and then there's another one that's this really cool snail and a dragon, and anyway, but I love the look of her character so much, and that was the reason that I bought this, because I love these guys. They're so cute. Anyway, so this is kind of like a mix and match sort of amigurumi pattern book, where you you decide on like a body style, and then a mouth, and what kind of eyes you want to do, legs, what kind of legs you want to do, arms, tail, ears, you know, and horns, tongues. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. And so every single one that you make is original and different, you know. And in the book, even, she gives you a little worksheet that you can use to oh, can't find it, right here, monster planning sheet. So here's the page where you can pick out all the things that you want to use, and she says you can scan it or, you know, photocopy it and use it over and over. And so I did make one, and I kind of skipped out on a couple of parts, but I just made a little tab for each type of element, and I tabbed the pages where those are in the book, so I could just kind of go through it like that, you know, like here's the tail I used, and the ears, and, you know. Anyway, so this is a really fun book, and I really recommend her patterns, either on, you know, the digital patterns, or I think this might even be her first book. And it's a hefty book. Like, it's pretty hefty. And there's videos that she gives instruction for each of the different, like, stitches that she uses that might be kind of confusing, or you know, that you might not be familiar with. It's all in U.S. terms, if you're familiar with U.S. terminology. Look at this little guy. But anyway, I did make a project from this book, and I made it for my grandson, and I think he turned out pretty cute. I mean, not bad for my first little monster. You know, his ears are a little weird, a little bit too big maybe, but anyway, so I made this little guy. I'm kind of thinking about maybe stitching his mouth closed just a tiny bit, maybe on the edges, because he winds up just with his mouth wide like that all the time. But yeah, I love his teeth. And I made him for my little baby grandson, my only grandson, not my only grandson, but he's my youngest grandson, I meant. And yeah, so, and I did the hair different than, I don't think she does anything like particularly like this in the book, but this is just how I wound up doing his hair. And I was going to brush it out, but I kind of like it like this. It almost looks like little dreadlocks or something. Anyway, it's kind of funny because my daughter-in-law, Oliver's mom, sent me a picture of Oliver where he almost has this exact expression. It's really funny. Anyway, so he's just a baby, and I mean, he's like a year old, and I thought that, you know, I made the tail and everything kind of long, and just, you know, it's only stuffed like here in the bottom. It's not stuffed all the way up, and I just thought he would be fun for Oliver to just kind of carry around, or, you know, he could hit his dad with it or whatever. But he's really squishy and soft, so I used it's an acrylic yarn that I used. You might recognize it. It's actually a Shapia's can't remember the name of the yarn, but it's an acrylic yarn, and it, you know, it's variegated. So anyway, just fun. So that's a little project that I finished, and I need to send that off to them. They live over in Seattle. And then I've been on this, you know, making some wearables. I think I showed you guys something I made a couple weeks ago, but one of my granddaughters decided that, or she mentioned that she wanted a tube top, and so I made this one for her, but I kind of have a feeling it's going to be a little bit too big. There is a little bit of room for her to kind of snug it up, but if it winds up being too big for her, it might fit her mom, and her mom could wear it, or she could just save it until she grows a little bit. But anyway, so I just made this simple, pretty much just a half double crochet with like a corset, you know, tie in the back. So that way I didn't have to use any elastic or anything. So I did that, and that's all. And these are all made out of cotton yarn. And then one of my other daughters-in-law, I have 5 sons, in case you didn't know that. I have 5 sons, and I have 4 basically official daughters-in-law. So anyway, so one of them, I said I want to make you like a halter top or something, you know. And so I sent her some pictures of some patterns, and, you know, of some patterns that I saw just around the internet, and she chose one that was kind of like this style. And then I asked her what sort of color she wants, and then what her bra size was, and so I just went from there. But she said she really likes neutrals, browns, and I know that she does like greens, but she didn't say that, so I just went with browns and kind of beige and, you know, light brown and cream. And then again, I did the corset cinch on the back. And this is nice for when you don't know somebody's exact size. You know, if you add in something like this where it makes it really adjustable. But you know, if you know their bra size, then you can pretty much determine what size to make for the cup, right? And then, you know, it's pretty stretchy. It's just stretchy cotton. So, and she said that she wanted something longer. Like the original pattern, it was only about this long. So I just kind of extended it a little bit, made it a little longer, cover up some tummy, you know. And then another one of my daughters-in-law, I also asked her if she would like a summer top, and she's pregnant, so she's almost 5 months pregnant now, and so, you know, she's starting to feel summer, and she said she's been basically living in shorts and a bra lately, so she said she would love to have something kind of summery. And she likes black. It's like everybody just likes black and brown, you know, but I'm kind of like, I want to use colors, you know. And I was like, well, how about green? How do you feel about green? She's like, oh, I love green. So I picked out all kinds of different greens. And this one is all made with different granny squares. So this one was pretty fun to make. I love making granny squares. So some circle grannies and then some traditional grannies. Tried to strategically place where, you know, I thought I don't want anything popping through, you know. Anyway, so this one I sort of went off of just a photograph of a top that I saw online and sort of pieced it together just from the picture, and then just added the trim and this little bit, and did this, you know, the crossover sleeves in the back, or the straps in the back. And again, it's adjustable, so she can, you know, she can tighten it up as much as she wants, or loosen it, or, you know, I don't know how long. I didn't know exactly how long to make the straps, so it's just really adjustable. And if she wants to shorten the straps, you know, that's easy to do. She can just cut them and tie a knot, you know. So anyway, yeah, so I did that one for her. And then I saw, there was another photograph I saw of like a little girl's granny like halter top, and I kind of don't really like how I did the straps on this. I don't like how it's just so blunt right there, so I'm thinking about maybe attaching like a little flower on each side here, so that this isn't, I don't know, I just think that looks kind of stark, I guess. But yeah, this one I just kind of did out of my head, and kind of loosely based on the photo that I saw online. And yeah, so I think this one will be great for her. She's 4, but she's tall, and she's a kind of a bruiser, you know. She's not like heavy really, or I mean, she's very proportionate, but she's tall and she's strong, you know. So yeah, so I think this will be good for her. Anyway, and it's just fun to make them, you know. Anyway, and then last one, this is the one that I made yesterday. Again, off of a photograph, and this one was kind of tricky to figure out how it was made without having the pattern, right? Like I could see what all the stitches were, and I could figure out what all the stitches were, but it was a matter of, okay, how did they go about actually, you know, making it without having to like stitch things together or anything like that. But I figured it out. I did figure it out. And so yeah, so this one is called, this is a what do they call it, a festival top, festival halter top. And so again, it's got that really nice adjustable corset bind, or like strap in the back. I used a heavier weight cotton just to do a simple chain stitch strap on this. It's a lot heavier than the yarn that I used to make the garment. So that made it a lot easier to make this really super long strap. And luckily I had the same color in both weights of yarn. So this yarn is more like a worsted weight, and then this is like this yarn is like a two weight, maybe, like a lighter than a sport weight even. But anyway, so this one, I thought I was really proud of how this one turned out, and I'm not sure which daughter-in-law I'm going to give this to, but I'm thinking I think I might give it to the one that is pregnant. So we'll see. Because she's a little bustier than the other one, right? Like the one that I made the brown one for. She's a little bustier, and I think that this probably turned out to be more like a D cup. So the other one is a C cup, so I don't want to make something that, you know, where the cup size is way too big for her. So it's almost better to make the cup size too small, because the fabric is pretty stretchy. So anyway, so that's my little crochet projects that I've been working on, and some new books. Just another quick little thing so I can move this off my desk. You know how when you get packages from Amazon, you wind up with all of that packing paper that, you know, usually goes into the recycle bin? Well, I've been saving it, and actually got a package from Target last week, and all of this paper was in that box for one, like, well, it was like 8 items, but they were all together, like the items were about this big, and it was in a box this big, so they filled the rest of the space in the box with this packing paper. And this is how much it was. It was probably about 40 feet of paper. Anyway, but it was, what's the word? Perforated. So I got my ruler out, and I ripped it apart at all the perforations, and then I ironed them all. So I'm just gonna bind these into like a notebook, so I can make a little craft paper notebook. And then I've been saving all my Amazon packing paper for, this is probably maybe 6 months worth, and I save it, and I cut it up, and I iron it, and I make it into notebooks. So that's another little project that I'm working on. And then back when I used to make journals all the time, I had made a bunch of book cloths. So this is made with upholstery fabric, probably from a thrift store or something. And then I use iron-on like interfacing, and just iron, so it's double-sided, so you iron it on to the paper first, onto the paper, and then you peel the backing off, flip it over, and then you iron that side onto, well, then you have to take the backing off both sides anyway, and then iron it onto the fabric. And so basically you can glue this fabric onto whatever you want now. Anyway, so that it's called book cloth, in case you're not familiar with kind of like the book binding terminology, but this is basically homemade book cloth. So yeah, so I'm gonna make some little notebook covers out of some of my book cloth that I made last year. So yeah, some of these fabrics are just really fun, and I thought these would be great because I love you know, doing mixed media stuff, and especially pencils and and gel pens and stuff on craft paper. So anyway, so that's another project that I'm sort of working on. I can't just do one thing, you know. Okay, and then I do have some, I don't want to call this necessarily a haul video, but I do have some items that I picked up over the last few weeks. And they're just kind of hanging out here, so I want to share them with you guys before I put them away. So first thing, I went to Spokane Art Supply here in town to pick up some watercolors that I ordered online, and then you can just pick them up in the store. But while I was in the store, they always have the best stuff on their like clearance table, just like good deals, you know. And I can never resist paper. Okay, so they carry this line of notebooks made by Potentate, and I don't, if any of you guys have ever seen this brand or around, you know, they're really reasonably priced. They make all kinds of different notebooks. They make watercolor, just drawing paper, craft paper notebooks, all kinds of different notebooks, and they're super cheap. Like, I don't like to say cheap. They're very reasonably priced. But these are watercolor, like cold pressed watercolor, and I don't know. I think it's more of a maybe hot press. It's like a halfway between hot press and cold press because it's not extremely textured. But anyway, so they came in a pack of 2 for like $4, something like that. and you can get them on their website. So I'll put a link in the description to Spokane Art Supply's website, and if you just put in the search Potentate, like all the products that they have from Potentate will come up, and they're just a really nice, low, reasonably priced resource, I think, for notebooks, or watercolor journals and that kind of thing. Anyway, and then also this company, SMLT Art, they've been popping up. Like, I mean, they've been around, but I saw that Blick had a whole bunch of their like notebooks and stuff like clearance priced. I don't really understand why, but I didn't get any from Blick, but I was kind of happy to see that, because I've never had any of this brand in my hands, and so I was really happy to see that Spokane Art Supply had them, so I could actually feel the paper and that kind of thing. And they had this format. This is I want to say, I don't think it's A4, and it's bigger than A5, so somewhere in the middle of that. Let's see, what do these measure? 9.5 by 6 3/4. But anyway, so this is a natural brown sketch pad. These were $10. And I really liked this craft paper. I really like it because it just looks, I don't know, like it looks just really natural, and it's a deep kind of brown. That looks like a different kind of color, doesn't it? Huh, I wonder if it's, oh, okay. So the back is a different color than the front. So that's interesting. I actually kind of like that. So anyway, how many sheets? 28 sheets. So what is that? 28 times 2, 56 pages. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, and then they each come with this bookmark that doubles as an elastic to keep your sketchbook closed, and they're soft cover. So anyway, and I just think they're really nice looking, And then this one is mixed media paper, and it's just yummy. Like, it just feels really nice. I haven't tried it out yet, but it's got a nice texture. I want to see if it feels like it has much in the way of sizing. But either way, I like them. Because I love paper. And anyway, so I had to get 2 of these. So these were all, this company makes, I would say, maybe 15 different types of notebooks. So like I said, drawing paper, watercolor paper. They do some black paper, the mixed media, the craft paper, just all kinds of different paper. And they had like maybe 6 or 7 different types of paper in this format, and they were all $10. But they make like hardcover. They make these really cool notebooks that actually come in like a sleeve, so you can pull your notebook out and then put it back in the sleeve, and it has it's almost like an envelope, kind of portfolio sort of thing. I think that's what it is. It's a portfolio that the notebook actually comes in. So those are kind of cool. I don't have any of those, and I didn't buy any. But then Spokane Art Supply also had a bunch of these Talons notebooks. And these are just plain white. I don't know what the weight of this paper is, but these are the same as all the other Talons art creation notebooks that are out there on the market that a lot of people seem to really like. And I have never bought any of them, so they have these for really, really reasonable. I think this size, this is a 4x4, I think. This was like $3.98. And then this size, I think this is the A5. Well, let's see. 4.5. Well, 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. That one is. And then this one is, I'm going to say, a little more than 8 by 5.5. Okay, so they have this one. This one was like $6 or $7. And then this one, 11.5 by 8 1/4 for $12.58. And I haven't even taken this one out of the cellophane yet. But these are all cork. I like the cork. So, yeah. So I got these notebooks from Spokane Art Supply to kind of fill my, you know, my paper, my need for more paper. And so while I was in the store, I was over at they have a counter where they've got pretty much all their like markers and fine liners and all that kind of stuff. And they had a display for individual Karen gel pens. And so I was going to just get like 5 or 6 of them. And then I started pulling them out, and I was like, oh, I need that color, I need that color, I need that color. And I wound up with like a pile of like 30 pens. And then I happened to notice up on the wall, they had shelves behind the counter. They had like a set of gel pens. And I was like, oh, how many pens are in that set? And there was like 50 pens. And so for the price that I was going to be paying for the 30 open stock pens, I could get just like that whole set of 50 pens. And it was in these nice little displays, or not displays, these nice little like cases, right? So these are the metallics. There's, what, 20? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 20 metallics. And there's 10 Milky Way, and 20 of their sparkly Star Sparks ones. And then there was also a pack of refills that came in there. I'm assuming that these are some of the most popular colors that people run out of the quickest. So there's like 5, yeah, so there's 10 refills, different colors, like a gold, a silver, and a blue, sparkly, and then a white, pink. Yeah, so anyway, and then this other 5 are all metallic colors. There's a red, a green, a gold, like a teal, and a silver. So anyway, so yeah, so those refills came in the case too. And I am planning to do kind of like a, I don't know, like a showdown of gel pens, of all my gel pens that I have, and just kind of give you like my opinions and my experience with, first of all, some of these higher end gel pens compared to some of the like cheaper gel pens that I have. And because I don't know, I don't want to I'm not going to go into it right now, but I was a little disappointed in these, so we'll talk about that another day. But yeah, so I did get this whole set, and I kept them in these cases because I just want to keep them in these boxes until after I do that like comparison. So because I want you guys to see, like, okay, does this fancy box really make a difference? But anyway, okay, so I got that, and then okay, from Spokane Art Supply, still Spokane Art Supply. So this was the whole reason that I went in there. First of all, oh gosh, probably 6-8 months ago, I was watching a particular YouTube watercolor artist. Okay, she's a watercolor artist that makes YouTube videos. And she had this palette, and it's made out of bamboo, and I just really loved it because the wells in the palette were large wells, and she uses a lot of like Japanese or like Chinese calligraphy brushes, and like hake brushes when she paints, and so she likes to have like bigger wells to keep her paint in, and I do too. I like to use a larger well, not because I use those kind of brushes, but because I just think it's better on my brushes to use a larger well rather than little tiny ones that you have to dig in, or either just the little half pans just drive me crazy. I do have a lot of watercolors that are in half pans, but that doesn't mean that they don't drive me crazy. I still don't like, I don't like them, but I'll use them because that's what I have. But if I had my choice, I would put all those paints into larger pans. Anyway, so I had purchased 2 of these. I found them on Amazon, these palettes, and I had put them in my cart. And I know you can buy them from this website too, watercoloronline.com. But they weren't cheap. I mean, they weren't cheap, okay? Like, these were like, I don't know, like, I think when I originally found them on Amazon, they were around like $70, something like that. $59, $60, $70. And one day they were marked down to like half price. And so I was like, oh my God. So I got 2 of them. And then I just had these palettes just sitting around. And these are designed, this guy's a watercolorist, Michael Soloviev, and he also has a YouTube channel. These were designed by him, and then he's also collaborated with Daniel Smith and done a set of 10 colors of watercolor. So, of course, on the back of the box for the palette, he shows what's in his set, and this is how he recommends setting up this 10 pan palette, okay, and this is where he placed his colors. So anyway, so I'm kind of obsessed with a lot of the colors that were in here, and I don't really have any Daniel Smith paint. I've been really resistant to getting on the Daniel Smith bandwagon, even though I live in Washington State. These are made in Seattle. I'm so scared to get started buying Daniel Smith watercolors because I don't want to, like, financially, like, I don't want to get to, you know, like, they have like 280 colors. And when I start picking out colors I like, I wind up with like a list of like 150 colors, you know. And obviously I can't afford that. So, and it's just really hard to narrow it down. So it's nice to see this set, because that just kind of helps you sort of narrow it down, like, easily. And Spokane Art Supply has pretty much all the sets that that Daniel Smith puts out. So anyway, so I finally broke down, got the set by Michael Soloviev. I'm probably not saying his name right. Now I can get rid of this box because I just wanted you guys to see this box. But so the colors that were in this set are India Yellow, Quinacridone Deep Gold, Quinacridone Sienna, Alizarin Crimson, Perylene Violet, Moon Glow, Cobalt Blue, Phthalo Blue Green shade, Phthalo Green Blue shade, and Indigo. And I just thought it was such a beautiful palette. So, because I had 2 of these palettes, I thought, okay, well, I need another set to fill the other palette. So I had to scrub through all of the sets that they have on their website to find another palette that, first of all, I liked and that didn't duplicate the colors that were already in this set, right? Because these are only 5mm tubes that come in here, but I didn't want, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to buy 2 of the same color, right? So I did find this set that I really liked, Alvaro Castanet's Master Artist set. And this guy looks like looks like he could be a friend of mine. It looks like a biker dude. Anyway, so there were no duplications in this set except for the cobalt blue. So that was good. So I was like, okay, well, I'll get that set. But then I was really wanting some other colors, like some very specific colors that weren't in either one of those sets. So I picked up some more, and I wound up with a few Primatech colors. There's more that I like that I probably will wind up getting at some point, but I think I'm good for a minute. So I wound up getting the Serpentine Genuine, the Cobalt Blue Violet, and Undersea Green, and Green Apatite Genuine. This is another Primatech color. And Nickel Azo Yellow. Oh, I didn't tell you the colors that were in this set. This one has Hansa Yellow Deep, Ultramarine Blue, Viridian, Burnt Sienna Light, Deep Scarlet, Mayan Orange, Cobalt Blue, Yellow Ochre, Neutral Tint, and Pyro Red. Okay. Anyway, so that's 20 colors. And then these are all kind of extras. And so then I got Cobalt Teal Blue. And they have like 6 new colors that just came out recently. And I was almost going to get they have like a, what is it, peach or something, or some kind of color like that. And I almost got it, but I resisted. But I really wanted to get these Juan Brilliant 1 and 2. Because these are just really, really useful colors for lots of different things. I want to say skin tones, but they're really useful for all kinds of things. Anyway, and then the green gold and carmine and Indian Throne blue. And of course I had to get the buff titanium and Sodalite Genuine, another Primatech, and Quinacridone Pink, Aussie Red Gold, Payne's Gray, and Zoisite Genuine, which is another Primatech. And then these are the only 2 colors that I already had of Daniel Smith. I had their Opera Pink and their Quinacridone Gold. So anyway, so that's these are all the 5mm tubes. This is the double, this is the second Cobalt Blue. Anyway, so I've already filled up some pans. I've already filled my palettes. So I had to think of a way that I could get all my Daniel Smith watercolors into these 2 palettes. And so if you've watched some of my other videos, I did a little short video showing how I make my own palettes using makeup palettes that are magnetic. And so I had purchased a bunch of these. These are for makeup. Okay, so you can get these and use them in the makeup palettes. The makeup palettes have like a sheet of magnet on the bottom, and then you can just pop these on. Well, some of them are aluminum, so they won't stick on the magnet. So you have to put a little piece of magnet on the bottom. But anyway, so it took me a while to figure out how to do this, but I was able to get all of the colors that I bought into these 2 palettes. And I know I said I don't like small pans, but if you turn these sideways like this is still good for your brushes, to use these long kind of skinny pans, right? Because you can take your brush and just it's like you can swipe it better. Like, I've got cat hair. It's just easier to swipe rather than digging into a little square pan, right? So I'm happy with these long kind of skinny little palettes, little what do you call them? Little palette pans. Okay, So anyway, so I put a magnet on the bottom of them. Now, each of these, I gotta make sure I put these back in the same order, because I didn't write the color number on these. These are the pans that come in this palette, and they are removable. Well, trust me, they're removable. I don't want to break my tweezers. But these you can take out. And so, I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but these are removable. So you can move things around if you want to. I just wanted to show you. But they are steel, so the magnet actually does stick to them. So that's nice. Anyway, so these little pans just fit in there perfect. And then I have a bunch of the little square ones. And yeah, and I'm still able to close my palette up. And yeah, and then you have some mixing area here. So anyway, I was able to get all the colors that I bought in here. I did save out one space for the Rose of Ultramarine that I want to get. That they were out of stock on. It was the only color they were out of stock on. And granted, I can mix it with Quinacridone Rose and Ultramarine Blue, but I kind of like to just buy their already mixed, right? Anyway, so these are my two palettes. And these are all just, I mean, a lot of these colors are really just convenience. I'm going to say, this is not like a perfect mixing palette or anything like that. It's just kind of indulgent, right? And they're just kind of like a lot of my favorite colors by Daniel Smith. And I just wanted to, you know, treat myself. And so I pulled the trigger on some of these. And I just put them together and kind of like warm and cool, right? And the Rose of Ultramarine probably should go over here, but I'm going to wind up putting it here anyway, but that's okay. I got my Perylene Violet here. And so the colors that I don't know. I don't want to say like the colors that I didn't think I would use as much. I put in the smaller pans, but that is kind of how I sort of worked it out. Like the colors that I thought I would use more for mixing, I put into the smaller pans. And then the colors that I knew I would want to just use straight from the pan, I put in the larger pans. Does that make sense? Even though the Ultramarine Blue is in a big pan, Ultramarine Blue is one of those colors that I think I would mix with a lot of those, you know, the colors that are in the smaller pans. I hope I'm making sense. So I wanted a big pan of that. And then also the Cobalt Blue, I figured I have two little tubes of it. I might as well just, you know, fill that up. Anyway, so this is kind of how it worked out. But anyway, so I can't wait to get that Rose of Ultramarine. And I'm going to be good. And I'm not going to buy any more. I'm not going to. I'm just going to. And I have to figure out a way to kind of like attach this. So what I'm thinking about doing is just making a little sleeve that I can just slide this into on the back of my palette, because I don't want to cover this up. I don't know, I just like the way it looks. And I might actually, for some reason I only got one sticker. I thought I should have gotten 2 stickers because I got 2 of these sets. So anyway, I'm going to whine about it. But I only got 1 sticker, so I want to put my little sticker on there. But I'm going to try to find another sticker so I can put one on each palette. Anyway, so yeah, so those are my new watercolors. And I'm pretty much in love with them. So, but I can get rid of these boxes now that I've showed these to you guys. So yeah. Okay, and then I've been enabled and had to do it a long time ago. I decided at some point I'm going to get both of these sets. And I probably could have gotten away with just getting the Pigment Arts pens. These are the Staedtler Pigment Arts pens, and then these are the Faber-Castell Artist Pitt pens. I haven't really used them much, so I can't say which set I like better or anything like that. But I will say, like, my first initial thought is that I really like the color palette with the Pigment Arts pens, but I don't love the nibs so much. I really love the nibs on the Pitt pens, but... And I like the color palette too, but it is not as vivid. Like, it's not as bright as these are. But that's good, because that means that there's a nice, like, range when both sets are combined, right? So yeah. Anyway, and okay, so I would have only gotten these, the Staedtler pens. This is another box I can get rid of. I would have only gotten these, but these came up on Amazon for a pretty good price. Like, normally when I see these on Amazon, they're, I mean, I've seen them for like more than 200, and I didn't want to order them from the German Amazon and that kind of thing, because I didn't want to pay the shipping on it. Anyway, but they came up for 127 with free shipping from Australia on Amazon. So I was like, oh, okay. And I think that was a pretty fair price. I mean, for what they are, and, like, you know, I mean, these were a lot less than that. These were about 65 on Amazon, maybe close to 70 for the Pigment Arts pens. Same number of pens, 60 pens. And these were only about like $50 more, $55 more. But I think they're, I don't know, like, I just had to have both sets, right? You just gotta have both sets. So anyway, I got them. I pulled the trigger, and so this is how I like to keep my pens. I don't like to keep markers and stuff in cases. I'd rather just rifle through. And this is a really nice box, though. Like, for those of you who actually do like to keep your art supplies in their original packaging, this lid just kind of folds like this, and then it can sit like that. And then if you take this string, you can actually pull this string and, like, do that, and you've got, yeah, and it just kind of pulls them out, which it seems like that bottom row should pull out. There it is. There we go. So that just pulls them all out and makes them all accessible, which is kind of cool, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep them all in here. That's just how I like to, that's just what I do. I know it probably drives some people nuts, but they're all going to go in here. And then I can play with them, you know? I don't know what it is, but I kind of like, I think maybe it's just the yumminess of all those colors together or something that I really love. Something like that. It's just, I don't know. That is just inspiring to me. And I'll mix them all up. You know, and I won't make a swatch chart or anything like that. I'll just, you know, I'll just keep them all in this little kit, in this little, you know, tray that goes in a, this is a drawer from a little storage thing from Target. So doesn't that look nice? I love it. Anyway, so those go in there. See, like, this is my, these are some of my water-based, some of my other water-based markers, you know. Anyway, that's just how I like to keep my stuff. Maybe I'll do a studio tour or something one day. Anyway, I'll probably save this box because this is pretty cool. Because you never know. Who knows? And it's a really nicely made box. I'd actually like to kind of dissect it and maybe make one of those, but I probably won't. Anyway, and then I just have some other coloring books to show you guys that I got recently. And oh, and this, I don't know, I showed this in my last video of water soluble media. I got these Crochet water soluble graphite pencils, and it's a set of 6. There's a white, a brown, a teal, a green, a blue, and a red. And they're just yummy. They're really nice. And I got these on Amazon. They were like 15 bucks. But yeah, add these to my collection of water-soluble graphite stuff that lives in this little tray. So, if you're looking for, if you've been kind of hunting for like clear acrylic storage drawers and that kind of thing, check out Target, because they do have some really nice ones that are really reasonably priced, and they have free shipping. Like, just saying. Okay, so new coloring books, and you guys have probably, none of these are new, like nothing, you know, mind-blowing, but I've been looking for this and it just showed up on Amazon, so I got a copy of it, because I just got the party one a while back, so I had to complete that little collection of those two. So I got the Space coloring book by Hannah Carlson, and then to complete the other collection, for some reason I was really like, I don't know, like, I didn't think I liked this book, the Witch's Cottage one, because I don't know, like, I don't really like things that are themed like that, like witchy. Like, I don't like the Masquerade book that much. So, but I watched a flip through of this, and I thought, you know, I actually really do like a lot of the images in there. So I picked it up. Anyway, and then, same thing with Tales from the Forest Kingdom. I sort of didn't think I liked it. For some reason. I don't know. Like, I thought, well, God, I have all of her other books. Well, not all of them, but a lot of her other books. And I thought, well, it just seems so repetitive, you know? But, like, I'll tell you what I don't like about Hannah Carlson's books are these. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, mushrooms growing out of houses and things like that. I don't know. Like, you know, I don't know. It just kind of creeps me out. Like, this is cool. This is nice. But, like, those mushrooms growing out of the house, I guess, that's not as weird as those other ones. Anyway, so they just kind of creep me out. But, yeah. Sometimes they're just kind of weird. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I mean. Anyway, so I got those two. So now I have all 5 of those books, that style of book. And then I picked up both of the new Rita Berman books, The Hidden Earth and The Hidden Oceans. And I have to say, I'm really, really happy with them. Like, I'm really glad that I never got the other ones, like the smaller ones, and paid the price for those and the shipping and all that. And then I just waited on these, because I do like the larger format a lot better. I only have one of her other books. It's the Asian one. And it was just too small. Like, it's just too small for me to work on. But this is nice. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing the difference an inch can make, right? Just saying. Okay, and then I got Enchanted Galaxies, because I've seen lots of people working in this, and, well, not lots, but some people working in this, and I've just kind of, it's always been there on my little wish list, so I got it, and I like it. I think it's cute. I don't know, I might not ever color in it, but it's still really cute. Anyway, so I got that. And then I finally got a nice little town book. I've been tempted over the years so many times to get one or two of these, and I just never have, because they're Amazon printed, and I just, ugh. I know everybody says, well, you can, you get used to it, and, if you treat the paper, and blah, 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 and, I just have other coloring books that I can color in, and I don't have to worry about it. But I have to say, I really like this book. I really like I like scenes, and I like drawing buildings, or coloring buildings and houses, and I like scenes, and these just, I don't know, something about these are just really cool to me. So just fun. This to me is kind of like mindless coloring, right? I don't really like the term mindless. Mindful coloring, I would say. But since you guys said it was okay, I can print these out on other paper, and I'll probably print them on like mixed media paper or something like that. So anyway, and I like the size of this. So anyway, so I finally got a nice little town book. Finally got the Gabby Wolf Daydreams book, which is, it's cute. It's super cute. Thank God it wasn't like an arm and a leg, because I wouldn't have bought it if it was anyway, but I do like it. I think it's really cute. And this is, I like I like these pages that have these smaller little scenes. You guys have seen this. So anyway, so I picked that up. Super cute. And then I saw this, and I was like, so I Googled this artist because I wanted to see what, like what his actual art was like. And I was like, oh yeah, it's really cool. And again, it's not really something that I think I'll color in much at all, if at all. But it's pretty cool. Like, I think this would be really fun to use, because it's almost like grayscale, kind of. I think this would be really fun to just use, like, distress inks, or, something like that. Or even, pan pastel or something. And just kind of shade this, But yeah. It's pretty cool artist. And he has another coloring book, too. Can't remember the name of it. Something silly. And then I got these two. There's actually another one of these Pep and Press books on the way. It's like 60s patterns or something. I got these postcards, these Arabian design postcards, but I think they're too tiny. I started on one just playing around with some gel pens, and yeah, I don't know. I think they're too small for me, but I'll keep them. And then this one is basically the same designs, just on bigger, just bigger. It's like more of the design, but the design's not any larger. So, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty tiny. I don't know. I might return this. I might return it. I don't know. I won't return the postcards, obviously, because I've already colored on one. And the cover was all yucky on it when it got here. But yeah, so I got that. And then last thing, I just picked up another presentation book. A 12 by 12 presentation book, because I have a bunch of watercolors that I want to put into a book instead of just in a box. They're all just kind of in a box. I have a lot of watercolors that need the square format. So, but this size is way more expensive than like the standard A4 or even like the larger 11 by 14. This size, this 12 by 12 is, they're not cheap. So anyway, this one was like 15 bucks. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Or yeah, 11 by 14. And I have an 11. I bought an 11 by 17 too. But yeah. Anyway, I could probably fill a few of these, but I just got one for now. So yeah, so that's all the goodies that I wanted to share, and kind of what's on my desk and what I've been up to and that kind of thing. Yeah, I do want to do that video about the gel pens, and I have a couple crochet ideas that I want to do with you guys. I know I said I would do like interpretation of like crochet graphs and charts, and so I do want to do that. I know I'm still thinking about that. And then yeah, I want to do the gel pen showdown, and I also still want to swatch out these watercolors. That, let me know if you want me to swatch the Daniel Smith watercolors. I don't know if anybody's, there's so many videos of people swatching Daniel Smith watercolors. I don't think, I mean, you guys have seen it a lot. But anyway, I still want to swatch these for you guys on camera. I haven't used them yet, and yeah. So anyway, okay. So that's that, and I love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I will put a link to my other YouTube channel in the description. A couple people have asked me where it is. It's Two Silver Oranges is what it's called on YouTube, but I'll try to remember to put a link in the description so you guys can go check it out. There's quite a few videos on there. I think 600-700 or something. So a lot of live streams from way back in the day. So anyway, check that out, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, sooner than later. Be good. I love you. Bye for now.